The views and opinions expressed on this station do not reflect the owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 10th day of February, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Carla Zul. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you're watching online, share the link. If you're on Facebook, start a watch party. If you're on Twitter, retweet it. Just get the conversation out there to your network, and don't forget to like and engage with us. Another good one today, as we have Digital Leadership Conference speakers, Detective Inspector Kenten Trott and Emma Edwards joining us. The Daily Play is a say it, don't sing it. So the lyrics to a song is what Carla will be guessing, not
singing. He likes it though. He likes it because he sets it up every time. So I can put that falsetto in there. So whatever.
No, I actually thought you were going to say singing. I didn't think you were going to sing. I thought that you had heard enough of your singing. So
never.
Apparently not. But lovely to have you all back with us again. Like I said, this is a very, I'm looking forward to today's conversation. Two different, very different people in terms of what they do. One, I mean, honestly, esports has taken, it's become sports in itself, the competitiveness of it all. And then obviously with Detective Inspector Trott coming on, internet safety. I actually watched this show on ID channel. Well, for those who don't know, I don't watch much TV. That's why, someone prefers to watch movies without me, because I just don't watch much TV. And outside of sports, the only thing you'll really see me watching is Dateline 2020 and ID channel. And it's this show called Web of Lies. So I want to ask Detective Inspector Trott if he actually, has watched an episode of Web of Lies, because that's an interesting show that teaches you so many things about how dangerous the internet could be. But also, as Katie Greer said yesterday, when used properly and appropriately, it's not dangerous at all. So it's like food. If you abuse it and use it in the wrong way, then things will happen to our bodies. But we'll get to that conversation. Let's get this show started, though, Carla. Did you hear about Aunt Jemima?
No, something more besides the rebranding?
Yeah, the rebranding thing. Someone sent it
to me. You didn't know that? Her and Uncle Ben's. But that's been ages.
No, they just announced the new name is what I'm talking about.
Oh, what is it?
Hold on, let me find. Oh, here it is. I have to share my screen with you all because so this is it. Can you see?
Put in what? Pearl Milling?
Pearl Milling Company. So Aunt Jemima is now going to be called Pearl Milling Company.
What's the motivation behind that? The name, I mean.
I don't know. Let me click. Let me read the story now, because now you're asking me to do some stuff. I just saw it pop up on my timeline, Carla. I'm not. It is.
It'll always be Aunt Jemima. The branding is the same. It looks the same. So for us old folks, that's Aunt Jemima.
But they said that it was racist and negative. So here we go. Brand formerly known as Aunt Jemima reveals new name as Pearl Milling Company. While the name on the box has changed, the great tasting products, the pearl inside the familiar red box, remains the same, with a mission to create joyful breakfast moments for everyone. Joyful breakfast moments. This is breakfast that's trying to kill you. All that sugar in this. I'm not hating. I'm
here for it.
In a statement released Tuesday, PepsiCo, which owns the Quaker Oats brand, explained the origin of the new name. Uh, though new to store shelves, Pearl Milling Company was founded in 1888 in St. Joseph, Missouri, and was the originator of the iconic self-rising pancake mix that will later become known as Aunt Jemima. Um, the longtime brand announced in June that it would rebrand because Aunt Jemima's origins are based in racial stereotypes. So, yeah, um,
It
that's
sounds worse. It sounds worse. What?
well,
Pearl Millens? Hey, go to the shop. Go get mommy some Pearl Millens Company syrup.
you know
Aunt
who I'm looking
Jemima.
for our marketing and social media people. I need to hear from you this morning from our branding people. I really do. I want to hear what's your thoughts because you cannot tell me that these companies hire the very best marketing and branders, and that's what they came up with. You cannot tell me that this is the best that they can come up with. Seriously, that can't be it. But I'd love to hear from some marketing geniuses, branding people out there to see what their thoughts are about the formerly known as Aunt Jemima Pearl Milling Company syrup or pancake mix or whatever. Now, to today's topic. Here we go, folks. This is the question. Because I think we're gonna get some heavy opinions on this. What are your thoughts on traditional? Oh, that's not it. Sorry.
You acting like me now, trying to go back in time.
No. I don't know what happened there. What are your thoughts on traditional work attire? And I'll explain what I mean by that. Traditional work attire. What are your thoughts on traditional work attire? Here's what's happened over in New Zealand. A leader of the, I don't know the word, so I'm going to spell it,
Maori.
Maori party, Maori. I'm going to go with Carla. A leader of the Maori party has been ejected from the New Zealand parliament for not wearing a tie, right? Rawiri Watiti has called ties a colonial noose and refuses to wear ties. Now, here's what you all may not understand or realize about me. I used to be in suits and ties all the time. I have not worn a tie in probably over 2 or 3 years. No, not because anyone told me anything or because I saw something or read something. I literally just made a conscious decision one day to say, why am I wearing a tie? And I'm going to share a story with you. I was working at a hotel one summer. This was back in like 2003. And that was the same hotel, same summer when they told me I couldn't wear my earrings and I changed the rule at that hotel. Well, there was this guy, he was a truck driver. You know how the delivery drivers deliver to hotels the food and so on. And I worked in the stores department, purchasing department. And all of the young fellas, the summer students, had gold chains on. And he said, I'll never understand why our people fought so long to remove things from around our necks only to put them back. No, he was an Adventist brother. So, his thing was rooted in his beliefs as far as religion as well. But I thought about it and I'm like, And I started thinking, outside of us, who else really wears jewelry around their neck like that? And then I thought about ties. And I'm like, well, it's not just us wearing ties. But I thought about why is a tie necessary to be a part of something or feel like some level of importance. And so when I was working, when I just made a decision, I said, well, I'm not wearing ties. The tie doesn't define my ability to do the work. The tie doesn't define my knowledge. The tie doesn't even really represent who I am. And you all know, I mean, I have about 100 and something ties in there, from the most high end to the low end ones. But those things literally just sit there because I agree with this gentleman. I don't wear tie. On this show, you may see me with a buttoned up shirt, but you will never see me in a tie. And my headshot last year that I had to get, no tie. I do not personally wear ties anymore. And I would just love to hear the reasoning, like a good reason that someone should be, banned or disowned for not wearing a tie in 2021.
I found that article interesting because the Maoris, apparently it's a cultural tribe in New Zealand, but he had on a neck piece to represent the tie. So to me, the context is that he was ignored by the Speaker of the House, not once but twice. At the second time he was asked to leave, but he had on that neck piece, and to me, it's like, why can't you accept that he's showing respect, but he's showing respect in his culture? And then the premier, what are they called, Prime Minister of New Zealand, said she saw no problem with it, but yet this man was being banned from speaking. I don't know. I felt like I just felt it was a stretch because he had that neck piece on. He was showing that, hey, I observed the respect, but this is how my tribesmen do it. I thought it was heavy-handed.
But I think even tradition, like again, and to your point about respecting his cultural beliefs, right? We discussed prayer in schools last week, right? This is no different, really, because what you're doing is saying to serve the people in the country, you have to leave your cultural beliefs at the door and come in and do what's been tradition in here. Let's move away from it, though, right? So I see some comments here, and MS Edwards says men are expected to be dressed up and women are expected to have makeup on for Zoom. I find this unfair. We all have different work from home situations. The work should be valued before the appearance. I agree. And I think yesterday we discussed about how they say first impressions make a lasting impression. And I said, no. Well, here's the thing with this. At the end of the day, if no one can give me a valid reason or a top argument why someone should wear a tie, then I think it's probably one of the most ridiculous arguments to remove someone from a situation you don't want them in. I have not heard an argument of why someone, if you simply say because it's our uniform, that to me isn't good enough. Now, you can do what you want with your private company. I'm not saying that you have to change because of other people, but this is a public space where this gentleman is. If they say to go to Government House in Bermuda or to enter the House of Assembly, you have to wear a tie. No.
It says a lot about the system in which you're living in, because if they're doing this to their representatives, imagine the rights that are oppressed of the everyday people.
There you go. Robert Durham says, I hate a tie and refused to wear them when I was working. Now, look, I'm going to use Kevin Dallas as an example. Kevin Dallas, you all know, I'm not a fan of this guy. I think he's probably my opinion about him is neither here or there at this point. But I remember Kevin Dallas being criticized by black members of the Bermuda Progressive Labor Party because of how he dressed. Because the elitist mentality that goes on in some of those black members of the PLP is, where's his suit? Where's his tie? And I'm like, is this guy really more progressive than you? Like, you're really stuck on someone who's here to represent or perform the job wearing a suit and tie? Like,
so how did he dress? Just like in a shorts and a jacket, maybe?
He was very laid back. He was very how can I put it? Silicon Valley-ish. Like I say on this show, I just wear a black shirt all the time. People, that's my go-to. Kevin Ellis was a very relaxed dresser. He would have shorts on and probably a polo, stuff like that. And that you have to dress for the job that you're in, right? And to me, when he was getting criticized for that, I was just like, yo, like, where are our heads? We're still talking about dressing in a suit and tie. Seriously, we're pushing them aside because they don't want to wear a tie.
I can't believe what Emma said I can't believe it about people having to wear makeup and ties on a Zoom. And they did the same thing with some schools out in the UK. The children are sitting at home and have to have on full school uniform and a tie. I'm like,
Mhm.
are you? I said to a girl, is she in a corrections facility? Like,
Mhm.
what's the point of that? But like Talent said, we don't know what goes on beneath her. Who says I have on pants?
Well, this is true. I mean, as I look down, Robert Durham makes a great point, though. I felt more comfortable not wearing a tie during the summer months. I just could not handle them. Um, Leslie Swan says, haven't seen the point of them and haven't worn a tie in 30 years. Robert Durham says, and most companies have moved away from ties to a more relaxed dress code. This is true. A lot have. I'm telling, I was actually using that as an example. I know Government House, they did have a rule where you had to wear a jacket. Of course, Jamal Hartman, the rule breaker, did not wear one when he went to see his colleague Teo Dale sworn in as a senator over 10 years ago. But for me, that was just me. Like I'm a non-traditionalist like that. I mean, you're going to arrest me for not wearing a tie or a jacket. But no, it's not ties at Government House. It's a jacket. You're supposed to have one as a man. But it's no different. Like the whole tie thing for men would be no different from telling women that they can't wear pants. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there are still some places that women have to wear a dress or a skirt. So no, Talent. That's I don't know. I don't think there's a rule you have to. Are you talking about the MPs or the audience, Talent? By the way, BI requests that students be in uniform when virtual schooling. Sloan says, well,
I think that's crazy. You're at home, you still gotta wash clothes and all of that as if he was going or she going to school every day. I just think that's a bit heavy handed. Have on the PE shirt or something, even that.
Mhm.
But the whole school uniform? Mm-mm.
Robert Durham judged the job as a person does, not their attire, as long as it's respectful. Agreed. Renito Graham says, if that's the rule, why not follow them? If that's the rule, if what's the rule? Like we're in a tie?
No, the jacket. I think she's referring to when you said about Government House not wearing the jacket.
Because I don't want to, and it's not law. And to me, if you know anything about me, I don't follow rules because they're put in place. I follow them because they make sense. And to me, that doesn't make sense. What if I didn't own a jacket? Right. So no, I don't look.
Then you sit outside.
I just did a podcast last week, and I don't think people, if they listen to this show and know me, would be surprised. But I don't do well with authority. If you haven't realized that already, so no, I'm not going to follow rules just because they're put in place. Anybody can make rules. It's like laws. I'm not going to follow laws just because they're put in place. Yeah, some laws are there to protect us. I remember the former now premier saying to me many years ago, Jamal, not all laws are bad. Oh, I agree. I mean, telling someone not to drive and drunk and stopping them, that's a good law to put on the books. You're protecting people, right? But no, telling someone to wear a tie or a jacket just because you want that, to be part of this tradition or maintain tradition. No, I'm not listening to that. We have a police officer on the show today, and here I am saying, talking about laws and stuff. Look at me. Yeah. Shayna Smith says a lot of churches in Bermuda still don't like women to wear pants and frown upon men not in suits. Yep. We're still there. We're still there. Shaz Wolf says, I was trained as an administrator about protocol dress wear that was in the 80s. Things are still relaxed now. All right, so let's move on. We've got some guests to get to. We've got some news. But before we go there, I'm going to share a little something with you all. Because last week I was social media bullied. And yesterday, I was by myself. I guess you'll figure out why. But here we go. Here we go, folks. This is from yesterday.
Parking bay this time, right? You see that, right? See where I am.
Where I'm parked.
This is where I am.
I'll do it. So, Carla, you saw where I was parked, my car. Right? I'm taking you to the walk to the food court with me, right? And so, now let's turn it back.
My steps, right?
Count
See how many steps I get in.
Yeah.
Look what we're at for the day.
Yep.
6,958. So, yeah, you're going to take a walk with me because you all overreact, right? You overreact. All I'm doing is taking a little walk, to the food court, got myself a juice.
Now, let me stop it there, right? So,
The fact that is not a video.
to prove to you people, that is not, I know you're looking, you're saying, why all these parking spots? You see these people here? Let's get it up a bit. They probably had to fight.
I'm almost there.
I'm almost there.
Are you all acting like, man, I would have had my meal and this and that? Nah. Oh, you're talking about the open parking spots? Nah,
Run,
all these
Forrest,
people probably had
run.
to fight for spots.
Excuse me. Now, folks, I share that video with you because last week you all were social media bullying me and saying that, oh, why you're parking so far? I would have eaten my lunch and been back work and da 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 da. This is proof, my friends, that it's not a far walk. And, I'm just getting my steps in. And guess what? I'm still under a tree at the far back end of the parking lot, going back to a cool car, and don't have to worry about anyone scratching my car. You know why? Because
But you still made it through yet. I would have been to my car back and back. You still haven't made it to where you're going. So
on that note, we're going to go to the news because Carla, for some reason, just thinks that I'm the butt of the jokes on this show. And we have some important people waiting in the background. Over to you, Carla. Can't buy a break on this show, I tell you.
The Royal Gazette reporting a former commanding officer of the Royal Bermuda Regiment has been charged with corruption. Lieutenant Colonel David Curley, 53, appeared in magistrate's court with Gareth Adderley, the former commissioner of St. John's Ambulance, and Christopher Clark, 58, a former inspector, who were also charged with corruption. Lawyer Justin Williams, who is currently outside of Bermuda, was also named in 4 related charges, which included corruption and possession of firearm components. None of the defendants were required to enter a plea, as the case must be heard in the Supreme Court. Colonel Curley from Hamilton Parish is alleged to have asked for a nomination for the Queen's Certificate and Badge of Honor so that he could arrange to have Mr. Williams appointed as legal advisor to the regiment. The court heard that Mr. Williams was allegedly to have procured a Medal of the Order of St. John's for Colonel Curley in 2015 in exchange for a firearm. Mr. Williams also alleged with Mr. Clark and Mr. Adderley to have offered to bribe Michael Mello in exchange for compounding an offense. Mr. Williams was also charged with possession of firearm components without a valid license between April 2017 and November 2019, as well as an allegation that he failed to secure a shotgun kept at his Pembroke home between August 2018 and November 2019. Senior Magistrate One Wolf released the 3 defendants on $5,000 bail. Meanwhile, the Bermuda Police Service has been informed that a staycation giveaway promotion launched by the Marketplace in conjunction with Hamilton Princess on their social media sites, Facebook and Instagram, has subsequently been copied by unknown fraudsters who are attempting to lure unsuspecting individuals into providing personal information by misleading them into believing that they are prize winners. The fraudsters are using email addresses which are very similar to that of the Marketplace. The actual address is www.marketplace.bm, but the fraudsters are changing letters, making the addresses slightly different with an underscore or an extra dot being added. The fraudulent promotions contain links which will potentially infect your device with malware or attempt to attain sensitive information or money from you. So today is not a special day, but it's actually a week. Jamal, did you know that this week is Jello week?
I did not, Carla.
It's Jello week.
Jello since the commercials with that guy Cosby.
Gelatin desserts were initially served to only the wealthiest households because of its lengthy process. This is because the main component of today's Jello is protein, gelatin, collagen that is extracted from boiled bones, connective tissues, and other animal products. Once people got their hands on the recipe and started turning the concoction into powdered form, Jell-O began to grow significantly in popularity due to its broad access to the public. Take a moment this week to experiment with the variety of flavors Jell-O has. It's so easy to make, so try a new recipe while you're at it. Turning to weather, the temperature in Bermuda is expected to reach a high of 70. Las Vegas, Nevada will see a high of 69, and London, UK will see a high of 36. On a programming note, don't forget to tune into the full100radio.com tonight for Nighttime Jams, featuring some of your favorite romantic classics. That's your Daily Hour news break.
Very unfortunate situation with the Bermuda Regiment, and then let me just say that that is not reflective of the organization and all the people involved. We're going to take a commercial break. Man, shut up. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back with our guest for the day.
Good day, Medical House Doris speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare.
Medical House is a great resource for Leroy. The service is excellent.
Medical House is best known for its uniforms and footwear. It has hundreds of styles of scrubs and nurses' uniforms for health professionals. Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products. These same professional quality products are available to you for home health care.
The biggest reason to come see us is that we specialize in these areas and the education and knowledge that we provide.
Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there's private parking right outside the door. Call or visit Medical House today.
Welch's, producers of the world's best-known grape juice, have been based in Concord, Massachusetts since 1869. Distributed in Bermuda by John Barrett & Son, Welch's has become a household name. We're featuring Welch's 100% Concord grape and Niagara grape juices, distinctly delicious and heart-healthy, and ushering in bold new flavors. Welch's Super Berry Juice, combining the Concord grape with Aronia berries for tartness and mangosteen for sweetness, and Welch's White Grape Peach and flavored blend of white grape, pear, apple, and peach juices. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. Carla Zhu and myself, Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and our friends over at Channel 82, where you can also watch this and many other locally produced shows if you have One Communications cable. Without further ado, let's bring in our guests for the day, Emma Edwards and Kenten Trott. Emma is from the Bermuda Esports League, and Kenten is the detective inspector from the Bermuda Police Service. Both will be speakers at this year's Digital Leadership Conference. Emma, Kenten, good morning, good afternoon, and good night to those who may be in that part of the world.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bermuda and the world.
Hi, guys.
Carla, what are you laughing at?
I'm actually laughing at something Talent said about Jell-O. And he said, like Jamal's legs when he's walking from the car.
So I'm glad that you both are on, because my walking from my car to anywhere I'm going in the parking lot can be considered an e-sport. We can turn it into some sort of sport. And then Kenten, from an internet safety part, you can really speak to people about bullying me because of the length I walk to my car. But nevertheless, you're not there to protect me. But look, let's get to it. What's inspired you both to want to be a part of this Digital Leadership Conference? Emma, you first, especially from an esports perspective. What's inspired you guys to want to be a part of this?
So this is actually our second year participating in the Digital Leadership Conference. Last year was our first time participating in it. And it's basically another form of us reaching out to parents and students alike. We really want to create an inclusive and safe space for esports in Bermuda. And we've had parents before express to us that their children have trouble socializing, but when they've participated in a tournament of ours, they found like-minded people to connect with. There's a lot of team building that goes on because we've had more team-based tournaments in the last year. So it's just another way of us to connect with parents and students alike.
All right, Kenten, over to you.
And for us, the Bermuda Police Service has been involved with the Digital Citizenship or Digital Leadership Conference since its inception. So we always want to be a part because we want to kind of build that relationship with the young people, for them to understand that, you know, a lot of times people think, oh, the police, the big bad wolf, this, that, and the other. But we want to let them know that we're here to help them and to guide them and to give them the advice they need. Because as they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So if we're able to prevent certain things, then they wouldn't have to come back to us when they're in trouble or when an issue happens. So, you know, it's amazing to be a part. It's every time we're a part of the conference, we learn so much from the children. So it's not just about us, it's about us teaching them, but also they teach us as well as how we can be better and what we can do to better serve them. Indeed.
And Kenten, you're a staunch advocate for safe and appropriate technology use. What does that look like from a police officer's perspective?
So what it looks like is a lot of, you've talked about it before in the show, a lot of the social media platforms and all those different entities have guidelines, and those guidelines are there for a reason. So for us, when you're using the internet safely, you're using it for the purpose that it was designed to be used for. That's to communicate, to share information, to get information, to research, to different things. So we just want to teach children, because in this day and age, it's very easy. I mean, I have children, I have nieces and nephews, and every day I see they're always on social media. You know, a lot of times my mom and my grandma always tell them, oh, put your phones away, pack it away, because we're so used to, our generation and under are so used to everything is social media, social media. So we want them to understand how to use it safely and to use it for the right reasons. No longer are we, back in my day, because obviously I'm a millennial, so I'm on the cusp. Back in my day, people were still getting bullied or beat up physically, meaning in the bathroom, or they take your lunch money, or the old adage of they stick your head in the toilet. Whereas now, that can still happen, that will still happen here, but it's more frequent that will happen online via social media, because our children are always on their devices, on their phones, on their Xboxes, PlayStations, all of that type of stuff.
Emma, Bermuda's Esport League's mission is to create a safe, inclusive environment for players of all backgrounds and abilities to come together and compete in engaging and fun esport tournaments. What are some things you do to ensure that this happens?
So we have a code of conduct on our website, and then we also send it out via email when we have participants sign up for the tournament. So that code of conduct is to ensure that everyone has a safe gaming experience. There are times that in competition, people get frustrated, and it's okay to be frustrated, but you have to be mindful of how you're interacting with others online. So we do, so with the Esports League, we're a team of gamers, volunteers, business owners that have come together to form this league. And so during tournament day, we do have people on our team that moderate the Discord community and then also moderate the Twitch stream to make sure that everyone is engaging in a healthy discourse, so that everyone can be comfortable and, you know, they want to come to future tournaments.
Now, talking about healthy gaming, has been a way for older people to lure children, sometimes, you know, negatively. What sort of advice do you provide for gamers to remain safe?
So, for example, I am a gamer myself. I play on PlayStation. There are times that random people will request me on PSN. And that's it's good to be mindful of who you're adding to your gaming system, or even who you interact with while you're playing a multiplayer game or a mobile game. You want to be careful, and you know, it's okay if you're participating with your friends, but once you start participating with strangers, if someone starts asking inappropriate questions or asking for personal information, then those are interactions that we encourage gamers to talk to their parents about, so that they can get involved and stop it right there.
But Emma, one quick thing, as a parent who has a gamer and a half, because one goes in and out, but they seem to spend so many hours in front of the TV. What do you say to critics who say, get these children off the games and get them outside?
So last year, we actually hosted our first esports camp. And so what we encouraged was to set up streaming schedules that don't interfere with your schooling or other extracurricular activities that you might have going on. You know, it's great to be passionate about gaming, but you want to be disciplined. And also, even with having a streaming schedule, that also lets your audience know when you'll be on, and it keeps your hours consistent to that time. It keeps your content consistent. So that's the advice that I would offer for that. Once you get to a pro level, there are pro esports players that they will practice free kicks for 8 hours or more a day. But if you're competing on an amateur level, you still need to be mindful of the other commitments that you have. Like, this is still something that you need to be disciplined on. There are ways that even esport, like at the pro level, there are ways that they're being told to eat, like, you know, eat healthier so that you can feel more energized during your stream. So esports is a lot different now than someone just being, you know, in their basement eating a bunch of chips or stuff like that. I find it to be a lot more sophisticated these days.
Wow. Kenton, based on our population, has Bermuda seen or what is the percentage of people who have come before the courts for internet crimes?
I couldn't tell you the percentage offhand. I have to get back to you on that. But as with a lot of things in Bermuda, we're still trying to catch up. That's one of the things that we are actually going to be talking about in our presentation, because our presentation is not just the Bermuda Police Service. We always partner with the Department of Public Prosecutions. So the director is Miss Cindy Clark, and then some of the other counsel also come along as well. And basically, we talk about we're going to talk to the children about the new legislation and the different acts, and, you know, Lauren by a person in a position of trust, because our legislation has to catch up. So a lot of times, you know, we have legislation from 1950s and 1980s. Back then, it wasn't the internet that we know today. So it's a work in progress, and they are definitely progressing it. You know, a new legislation came out last year, and they're looking into it further, because we have to make sure that it's keeping up with what's going on in the modern world.
Now, we're at this stage in the world where when something happens, in the old days where people would go to help first, people seem to record first and maybe help after. How do you help people to understand that this is just not the way to go about things?
And that's the education piece. That's where the education piece comes in, and that's why we're teaching our young people and our children how to do things the right way. For example, I always tell the parents, you are your children's best example. So a lot of times people get upset because they see their children, for example, if you're an adult, you might be young, you might have Instagram, you might post a picture with the duck lips or the, you know, posing in a certain way. And then when your, you know, 9 or 10-year-old child does it, you're wondering, well, why are they doing that? But that's because they see mommy or daddy doing it. So it's a big education piece. And we always tell people, if you think to record, you should think to help first. Don't record first, help first. And it's just an instinct thing. And everybody wants likes, and everybody wants followers, and everybody wants to have the latest news, and everybody wants to be able to share the voice note or share the image. You know, I'll never forget, it broke me hard. I was in a course and I received information about, you know, a close friend of mine that passed away in a bike accident. And the way I got the information was via a video that was circulating on Snapchat. So that's no way to find out. So we just encourage people to think of how you would feel if you got a picture or video or information about a close family member or friend of yours that you recorded or that somebody else recorded and sent to you. And that's how you found out that something happened that was significant in your life.
Yeah, that's insane to me. I think, and I'm glad, Carla, for asking that question. It's quite, I mean, right now, when you look at especially the policing, I think a lot of people think they're helping when they do take these videos. But as you've seen from the Bermuda Police Service a lot over recent times, it can hinder a lot, even a court case, if you're putting stuff out there, because it can create biased juries. But I think educating the populace on that. The other thing that's become something is the sharing, the sexting. And I think Bermuda Police Service released something yesterday. Sexting, is it called? Sexting, and like sharing videos of people without consent and so on. I'm not sure, but maybe you can tell me from a police perspective, at what age do you speak to children about that kind of behavior? Yeah.
Interestingly enough, that is actually a part of our presentation. We believe that the younger the better, because, and it's also in moderation, and you have to determine how exactly to speak to them. So we actually have an article in the Digital Leadership magazine about how to deal with those different age groups, because obviously you have younger children and then you have the tweens and the teens. So you have to kind of cater the message to depending on your audience. But we start from in our presentation, we're going to talk about it at the conference.
Okay. If you have any questions or comments for Emma and Kenton, please just write them in the comments below. We'll share some of your comments and questions. Emma, I want to speak about gaming because there are Carla kind of spoke about it earlier, people with their children saying put the game down and so on, and with gaming seen as something that can become addictive and distracting. To parents, what can we say to them, the best component? Because I know one of the things, as I was growing older, I'm like Kenten on the cusp of the whole millennial thing. And I remember
Me
growing
too.
up, right. I would leave people stay out of this one. But when I was growing up, a lot of us were outside more. We did play video games, but I know one of the things that is said is, oh, children don't get outside anymore. They're always inside playing games. Speak to us about people say mentally it's not safe. What about the mental aspect of this, and why it is okay to play games regularly?
During COVID, people have actually found a lot of comfort in playing video games because we are very limited right now. You might not be able to participate in certain activities. Maybe you're a golfer or a basketball player, or maybe you just love building things in The Sims. There's a lot of positive things that can come from playing video games, and it doesn't always have to be something that is addictive or negative. Like when I was growing up, I spent a lot of time outside. And anytime I would pop in a video game, my mom told me that we were ruining the TV. However, now that esports has grown to be what it is, people are using communities like Twitch and Discord to create positive impact. There is a group, and I would say they're like a league or a gaming community, Black Girl Gamers. They're actually using Twitch streams for social justice movements and to encourage their subscribers to donate to these different causes. So there are ways to use gaming for positive and social impact in your community.
Emma, I found it interesting that you said that you're a gamer. Most females, and maybe I'm wrong because I'm about to ask you the numbers as such, they hate gaming. It's like every nemesis in a relationship is a PS something, right? What's the percentage approximately of women who are, or females who are gamers? Is it very high?
No, we've actually struggled to, I guess, attract that audience here in Bermuda. A lot of younger girls, they're into dancing or gymnastics. But there are a lot of girl gamers too. There's different games. So I find that a lot of my lady friends, they don't really like Call of Duty or Apex or Fortnite or like the shooting games. They like to play The Sims. The Sims actually has a reality TV show where gamers create these different scenarios and have grown huge YouTube followings out of it. So The Sims itself, which is very popular amongst women and young girls, has blown up to be much more than just a video game. Like you can submit your own characters, houses, how they're dressed. It's pretty huge.
We have a few comments coming in. By the way, if you'd like to follow Bermuda Esports League, here's the information for their Instagram and Facebook, as well as the Bermuda Police Service to keep up with what's going on over there. And like I said, they just shared something as related to technology and the term sexting. It just seems so weird for me to say, but it is a term, sexting and so on, yesterday. So they update their stuff pretty often. Sloan Johnson says a big part of the education is helping residents to be aware of the current legislation and that sharing an image of someone without consent is an offense. Javelle Huggins Hube, she says, I was a gamer when I was younger. So I think, she kills that stereotype a bit. Let's talk about the attendees before we let you guys go. The Digital Leadership Conference happening next week. What can the attendees expect to take away from your presentations? Kenten, you first.
For us, just as we've spoken about, education about what to do, what the offenses are, what the law says, how we can help you, what to do if something happens, and also getting them to realize the importance of if it's the old adage, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. That type of thing, just so that they're aware of the importance of being kind to one another and using it responsibly and wisely. And also, what can happen if you don't? We don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we have to let them know, hey, this is how you do it correctly. And if you don't do it correctly, these are the possible consequences that can happen. So we wanted them to take away the education. We want them to ask any question that they want. You'd be surprised at the questions that we get, but we want them to ask those questions so that at least they get the information that they need.
Indeed, indeed. And Emma, before I ask you the same question, I did have a question from the audience. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, good morning. Is there a component of the esports league that teach young people how to build a gaming PC?
So we have received that question before, and I wouldn't say that we officially have that like listed on our website. However, within our team of people, there's definitely knowledgeable people there that know about building PCs. And then also a part of our presentation is going to be giving suggestions of local places that you can go to build out your streaming setup.
Alrighty. And as stated with the question with Detective Inspector Trott, what can attendees expect at the Digital Leadership Conference, expect to take away from your presentation?
So our presentation will center around Twitch and how you can use that to build a community and also positive impact. So we're going to go over interacting with your audience in a positive way. Maybe you have a giveaway or a local business that you want to partner with. We want to give out different ideas for how you can achieve that, because your audience will be different than everyone else's. You want to make sure that if you're doing a giveaway, it's something that can benefit the lives of your audience, and also just learning how to moderate different discourse that can come up with gaming.
Alrighty. Detective Inspector Kenten Trott and Emma from the Bermuda Esports League, thank you so much, both of you. I look forward to, kind of being a part of this with you.
Us as well.
Thanks so much, and look forward to having you guys back on again sometime soon.
Yes, thank you very much. We look forward to it as well. And just before I go, the whole tie thing, the only reason I have on a tie right now is because I have to. And let's just say I totally agree with you. I was about to take it off during the break, but I say, you know what, Jamal's not my boss, so I can't take it off yet.
Don't let him take you and get you in trouble, Kent. Okay?
You know what? Honestly, you know what? When you first came on the camera when we started, I said, "Oops." I hope you didn't think I was talking about him this morning, right? But no, yeah.
That's okay. But we are progressive, and even our commission is very progressive, and even the fact that I have dreads now, a few years ago, that was never happened. I've had older people stop me and say, "Oh, you're still a police officer? Oh, back in my day, you could never do that." But it's just a matter of, and as we're talking about with the Digital Leadership Conference, about education. Mm-hmm. What does my hair have to do with my ability to do my job? What does my tie have to do with my ability to do my job? So I think it's a whole education piece. But yeah, I just wanted to slip that in there.
Well, I'm glad you did, because Emma was in the comments and she shared some things. So I'm glad you added your perspective as well. And you guys have been a part of the conversation. I just think as you tie the Digital Leadership Conference into this, I think everything is about evolving, but evolving in a way where people are not offended. Well, like, I know, yes, people can easily be offended. You can say good morning to someone and they be offended. I mean, that was me in New York City when I first moved there. But I think there's ways where we can all have our spaces, be happy, and no one be harmed. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't still be like putting people in a box because they're women and they wear pants, or they're a man and they don't want to wear a tie. We've got to evolve. Our mindsets have got to shift. So,
but can I add, please, Kenton? I still will be cyberbullying Jamal. I'm willing to go jail for it. That's all.
Don't worry. We have a good relationship with the Manchester police, so don't worry, Jamal. We can speak outside of this.
I love it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a good day.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
All righty, Carl, I see you. I see you, play. I see you. Monica Dunstan, before we go to break, she says, as an educator, I've been teaching about cyberbullying and sexting for 12 years. I feel like the missing piece is parental awareness and education. Very good point there. Very, very good point. Sean Smith also adds, my concern is the health part of it. Know these kids staying inside for a long time and are suffering vitamin D deficiency. Wonder how many of these kids in Bermuda. That's another good point.
Probably not though, because of the sun. Up here in the UK, because it's so grim, definitely. But Bermuda has all that sunlight, so.
Indeed. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to have the daily play. We're going to do a recap. If you haven't already, make sure you share the link. Start a late watch party. Just share it, get it out there, because the daily play is going to be interesting. All right, stick with us.
Bermuda, do you know the difference between internet and Wi-Fi? Don't worry, neither did I. Let me break it down to you. Internet is delivered to your modem, which then has to push the Wi-Fi signal into the rest of your home. Do you find that the further you're away from your modem, the weaker your Wi-Fi signal gets? That's because Bermuda's homes are built hurricane tough. It's really difficult for that Wi-Fi signal to reach every room. But you're in luck. Our One Home Wi-Fi solution guarantees Wi-Fi coverage in and around your home with the help of our Eero devices. Plug in the Eero around your home and it will create a mesh Wi-Fi network in every room. Check us out at One today to sign up and make sure you can stream, work, and play from every corner of your home.
All right, welcome back to the big show. It's the Daily Hour. She's Carla Zhu. I'm Jamal Hartman. Thanks again to One Communications, Medical House, and Lindo's, ensuring that we're able to do this for you. Thanks again to Sloan Johnson and everyone at the Digital Leadership Conference. This morning's guest, Detective Inspector Kenten Trott, as well as Emma Edwards from the Bermuda Esports League. Thanks again to everyone who continues to watch this show, share this show, and push this show. And so, at this time of day, what we usually do is we do the daily play. If this is your first time watching, this is a very entertaining part of the show. And Carla usually guesses the answer correct. What are you laughing at?
Because I'll claim it. I get it wrong like 30% of the time.
You're being generous to yourself. You're being very generous. All right. So today it's actually going to be a song. But before we even get into the daily play, let's get a recap of today's episode. As I stated, I watch Web of Lies on ID channel every now and then, and it's amazing. Like when I was first introduced to the internet, it was in a library class or something, and the first thing all the young guys in my class did was go do. Let's see if you can guess what we all did.
I can say it out loud. When it was first the internet?
Yeah, when we first were introduced to it back in the 90s.
You went on lingerie sites?
I don't even think they were existing. No, we actually went into chat rooms.
Yeah,
sorry. We went into chat rooms. Chat rooms were big back then. And so these guys would like just, I wouldn't say I was familiar with computers because I always had one, but not the internet. And everyone was just chatting, trying to meet girls and so on. And so I could.
You remember the first internet? What was yours that you remember?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't pay bills back then.
Netscape. No, but I meant internet. What's it called?
Browser.
Yeah, Netscape.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes, I do remember Netscape. I'm not as old as Carla, but I do remember that. Yes, I remember Netscape. And I think that when I look back at how we were introduced to the internet, the first thing for me was, and I was traveling to England a lot back then, was connecting to England. So I would always look up things in England, especially around Essex, where I had family that was living. And that was how I kind of got into sports a bit more, using the internet. But for most people my age at the time, when we were, teenagers, these guys were all about chat rooms and meeting people. So I think, understanding, I never
did that.
Yeah, we weren't taught about internet safety back then. It was literally, oh, this is the way of the world now, and so on. So I guess I'm saying all that because I really hope that people do take advantage of the Digital Leadership Conference, and I do appreciate these opportunities are available. Internet education and social media. Like you think about, I'm speaking about the internet. I'm not even speaking about social media because social media didn't really become a thing like it is until the early mid 2000s, right?
2006.
Yeah. So as the world opens up, we have to be more careful, as Detective Inspector Kenten Trott said. Back then it was physical and so on, but digital. We have to be just as careful. Yeah. On that note, let's go to the daily play. So Carla's going to need your help, folks. Really, really need your help. Help her out. Yes, you must have been there too, Camille. Yahoo chat rooms were the you know what. That's why I learned how to type in chat rooms. See, look, everybody was in chat.
I never did that.
That was the thing back in the 90s, man. I'm telling you. All right, let's go to the daily play. Here's the lyrics of today's song. Quote, I need you. Oh, how I need you. But all you do is treat me bad. End quote.
Oh, I know this song. I need you. Oh my God, I know this song, but I can't think what it is. Give me a little rhythm. Give me a something.
You really want a rhythm?
It's a man or a woman. I need you.
It's not a
Lauryn Hill.
No, I'm not even gonna give you a song. No, I'll do it for you one more time. Quote, I need you. Oh, how I need you.
Oh my God.
But all you do is treat me bad.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I know what this song is. No. Is it? No. Isn't. I could hear it, but
baby love.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe not
I
then.
need you now. Oh, how I need you. Yeah, it's Baby Love, the Supremes. Thank you for that, NT Steed.
Your Google's good, NT Steed.
Diana Ross and the Supremes, who lost a member, Mary Wilson, at 76 years old this week. What's crazy about that story? She was just on did an interview the other day. Like she was fine. Like just felt, at least she appeared fine and was speaking. But yes, it is. Diana Ross and the Supremes. It was Baby Love. So Carla, no point for you today.
Aww. And it's funny because I woke up some hour this morning. I went to bed after you went to bed, but that's a whole nother story. But I saw something about someone Wilson, but I had Nancy Wilson on my mind. So I Googled it to put in a newscast, and she had passed away a few years ago. And I was like, but I thought it was someone Wilson. So I thought I dreamt it, but it was Mary Wilson.
Mary Wilson, indeed. Indeed. All right. Any inspiration for us?
Yes, I'm going to get it right tomorrow. I promise. Okay. Today's motivation is courtesy of Cardi B. I don't even know if that's what she says.
I didn't even know she had quotes, but go ahead.
Remain humble, but stay hungry.
Cardi B is the rapper, right?
She's so ratchet, but I love her. Yes, her.
Why am I not surprised? But no, it's impressive coming from Cardi B. She's not known for her extensive vocabulary, kind of like me, but yeah. So tomorrow we have another guest for the Digital Leadership Conference. I believe it's Arik. He'll be stopping by. He's also a guest speaker. We've had some great conversations, and I really hope that parents, guardians, students, educators, people really sign up for this. This is a very good conference, not just because I'm part of it, but I think it's something that parents and everyone can learn something from. We have some very good speakers. You've heard them all. They're bringing experience from around the globe, and props to everyone behind this, Sloan and team, for making it happen, and those who are volunteering to be a part of it. Any final words from you, Carla?
From the parental side of it, don't be afraid. You don't have to learn these social media and stuff, but at least be familiar with it so you know what your children are into. Don't be afraid of it, parents.
Indeed. Is that your final wrap up? You're good?
Yeah, and I it sounds awesome. So I hope as many people sign up as to capacity. It's Zoom, so sky's the limit. Go for it.
Indeed. Just want to say something real quickly, and we haven't mentioned it a while on this show, but as it relates to social media and so on, I definitely appreciate the way Bermudians, as you know, traditionally young Bermudians have kept the stories alive about people like Chevelle Dillon Burgess to make sure we do not forget her situation and forget her. And so it should be appreciated, and we need to keep doing these things, but we also need to understand that there are, you know, limits. You don't One of the things we spoke about with Dr. Ewart Brown is, would he get a fair trial? Regardless of whether we believe someone's guilty, people are determined guilty and innocent based on evidence presented in a court. So what we want to be very careful of when we're on social media is saying things that can jeopardize what is probably a guilty person walking away. So I just want us to keep that in mind, and may the work continue to bring Chevelle Dillon Burgess home to her family. On that note, thanks again to our partners, Medical House One Communications and Lindo's, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Carla Zul. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, make it your best day yet.